Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's taste.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste the Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you weary travelers listen to. This week, we're looking ahead at the year and catching up with one another in a tangent-filled episode. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Lewis.
I'm Hassel.
And I'm Joe.
Hey, everyone, that's right. Lewis is back in the house.
Yeah.
Happy Lewis New Year.
Yeah, that's
Happy Lou
Year?
that was
We'll
gross.
allow it.
That was gross.
We'll allow it.
Hey, Lou's from Fairhaven. He celebrates.
But yeah, Lewis, you're back in town, back in the house.
I am happy to be out of New York. It's terrible there. Don't go there.
Well, I mean, you're in Florida. So
Hey.
that much of a
I mean, you're in Jersey, so it's like
It's not any better.
Just like everybody hates their states. Is that the theme I'm getting?
So like you were in New York.
yes,
And it was cold.
right.
And then you came here.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make you officially a snowbird?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Oh, this
Hard-hitting question.
Technically.
Wow.
The journalism here.
Technically, it does.
It does. Technically, you're not wrong. I technically did flee the cold, not because of the cold, but I did flee.
It's because it's New York. Everyone
Yes.
wants to leave there. It's just what it
I don't know
is.
what you're talking about. It's 20 degrees outside. It's beautiful.
I agree with you.
Gosh.
I mean, no, I love the cold weather. Trust me, I love the cold. I'm down here, I'm sweating when I just wake up, and I'm like, sweat.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Just, ooh, let's clean my pores every morning.
Yeah, Lewis wasn't expecting these hard-hitting questions. We've had people on that we've interviewed before since. So, like, we know what to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had one interview.
I feel it.
We're
One
professionals now.
When Brian says people, he means one.
He means person.
Listen, he doesn't know that.
But Lewis, it has been a minute since we have had you grace our podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's been. Has it been six months?
Pretty
or
much
a
6
year
months,
or something?
yeah.
6 months.
A year?
I go like maybe 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 7.5. Everyone's
like it.
guessing.
Why
so
not?
Why
Yeah.
not?
Guessing
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
I'm going to go 7 in 3 weeks. Amanda.
$1, Bob.
I'm going to go 7 3 weeks and 1 day.
Damn it. I feel the day. I feel the day.
Took my strategy.
Yeah.
Price is right. And
That's
I
hey,
get it.
you always got to watch out. There's one more after you. It could happen.
It's right. Never. Yeah. Always be last.
Always be last.
That's my mantra in life.
Always go left, always be last.
You're never disappointed.
You're just lost and confused.
Unless you're somehow first, which does happen to me. And I'm like, how'd I get here? Why is this happening? I'm uncomfortable. Everyone's looking at me.
Oh, I'm getting married. Got it. All right.
Oh, I did win. Yay.
But yeah,
Not last, just tied.
yeah.
Not in that scenario.
I don't like where this bit went.
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
don't
I was-
support
I
it.
don't know why you went there. I was going with first.
Yeah.
Brought in marriage, man.
Yeah, because you're
Do
talking
it.
about being in first.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I followed it up from you being in first.
Joe, the bit's still going.
I don't know why. I wonder these things all the time.
Brian, do we have a question?
Oh, we do. And this question is somehow from Joe Mini 4. And Joe Mini 4 asks, what was one of your favorite gaming moments of the year?
I'll start us off. I had to Google this to make sure this was this year, and this was, in fact, earlier in the year. And for a year that feels like it has lasted 12 years, I mean, I feel like the concept of time.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't always mean anything. But this year was the year that Troy and I, for our stint as We Love Indies, played
Yeah.
I Love You, Colonel Sanders.
Oh, my gosh.
And just being Colonel Sanders for, 2 days was
hit.
magic.
Yeah, it wasn't even as forward as like we're hitting on Colonel Sanders. We were like developing a very nice relationship with him.
Right. More importantly, I got to be Colonel Sanders. So I feel like not only was that a highlight of my year, but it also, I feel like, built the
Wait, you
character
got to
that I've
be
been.
Colonel
I was
Sanders?
doing the voice for Colonel Sanders.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know what you mean. I thought you were playing as him. I'm like, whoa, was this Colonel Sanders dating Colonel Sanders? In our room,
would.
it was.
I mean, he would. I mean,
Yeah.
who would?
I mean, technically, yeah.
But I feel like that built the foundation of my character for all of our food fights. And 2 out of 2
God,
food fights,
you're right.
food fight champion. Like I'm channeling my Colonel Sanders. So.
You're right.
Oh,
so we
now
have
I'm
that
putting-
to blame.
Yeah.
Man.
Now I'm putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Just pretending to. Oh, sorry, I gave away my mystery.
We just saw your origin stories.
He put 2 and
So
2
you are-
piece together and got a 4-piece out of that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say that my favorite gaming moment of this year has been I love you, me.
Amanda Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. Colonel Amanda Sanders. I
Yeah,
apologize.
jeez.
Thank you.
Well-respected member of the military over here.
Yeah. Well-respected member of the military who then went on to own one chicken place in Kentucky and then became a chain.
Also, I learned how to spell Colonel this year.
It's a tricky word.
Like, I
It
don't
is.
have to spell it wrong and then spell check it. Like, I genuinely remember.
Nice.
So,
Too many
you know
O's.
what?
Wow.
You can't say video games aren't educational.
Yeah.
Way
when a
too
game
many O's.
teaches you something.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
best.
the L.
The L's get you?
Yeah. I always think it's an R.
What are you talking about?
Makes
It's
sense.
Kernel.
Yeah.
Colonel.
It's spelled KFC. That's exactly how it's spelled. It's 3 letters. It's easy. All right, that's awesome. Anybody else?
Mine happened on streaming as well, but mine was a little different. At the beginning of the year, we had a whole bunch of episodes of Friend Zone where we were kind of like constantly trying to figure out what we were going to play and stuff like that. And a game came up, Overcooked 2.
Yes.
And,
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And I think this is probably one of my favorites of the year because I could not stop laughing on stream. And it's the level where somebody has to actually like control this raft going back and forth to try to get different ingredients inside of a pool. And it was Amanda controlling the raft and would not let us, like the amount of people that were falling off of the raft into the water with ingredients in their hands. Like, we could not cook one thing during that level. We cannot complete one dish.
I still have Manda's cackle. It just burned into my brain from that moment, being in the room and just hearing her cackling. Just, oh my gosh, it was
'Cause
so
you're-
delightful.
Because you were hearing it twice. You were hearing it in your headphones and then as well as in the same room.
It was delightful. Amanda,
It was
thank you.
yeah, it was so good just because I don't think I've ever experienced a collaborative game that, between 4 people like that. But oh my God, it was everything I wanted it to be and then everything I didn't want it to be because of how frustrating it was. But it was so good at the same time. It was, oh God. It
Yeah,
was so good.
collab goes into collapse real quick.
Yeah, it really does.
I think it's a mark of a good collaborative game if you will have fun when you lose.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And that was, I think, yeah, I agree. That was hilarious. As soon as you mentioned Overcooked, I was like, that's right, we did play that. My God.
It's a good moment.
It was. So I'm going to piggyback off of that because mine was also from a friend zone. And ours was when we were playing Friday the 13th. And it was, I think it was, 8 of us playing? Maybe more
I
than
think
that?
so, yeah.
So many.
I don't remember. It was a lot of us. And I mean, this might be from last year. I don't care.
Yeah. I think that's a
I know, I saw your
2019
head. I don't care.
memory, but
This
We-
carries
It's fine,
over
it's
into this
fine.
year.
We did start off saying that time doesn't really
Time
work.
doesn't
doesn't
anymore,
matter.
so-
Right. Time doesn't work.
2020
We're
was
stuck in this
2
vortex.
years long
Yeah.
anyway.
It was, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was one of my favorite moments because we were all playing Friday the 13th. And in these games, it's, one person is against 4 or however many people are playing. And so in this game, it's you are Jason and you are chasing all these other camp counselors as if it's the 80s and everything. And I am never Jason. I never get to play these types or in these types of games. I never get to be like the bad guy. I'm always the collaborative person, which I'm fine with. So I finally get to play Jason and I am so happy. I'm like, hey, listen, it's finally happened. I'm going to be Jason. And in this game, you can, all the counselors can like escape. Mm-hmm. They can like, start a car, they can start a boat, so they can do all these other different things. And it's kind of hard to do because like in order to start the car, you have to get a battery, you have to get gas, you have to get a key, and then you have to get everybody in a car and drive away. Mm-hmm. It takes a while. Not so this round. I remember starting against Jason. I'm like, all right, how do I do this? This is my first time playing. All right, so this is kind of how you do it. All right, this is kind of, is that a car driving away? Is that headlights I see in not too far of a distance?
This would have been the most boring Friday the 13th movie where it starts off, all the teenagers are like, there's a killer, let's leave. And they do. And roll credits. That's what that was.
And I remember thinking in my brain, like, wait, no, it's like literally a minute, maybe 2 at the most. How am I looking at a car drive away, which what looks like 4 people in it? I don't understand how this is happening. And then we all talked afterwards, and they're like, oh yeah, we spawned and everything was in like 2 houses right next to one another, as well as the car. I was like, oh my God, you suck.
I think you guys were playing for hours that night, and
we were getting good.
Yeah. You guys were all getting really good, and Brian like kept saying like, I can't believe I haven't been the killer yet. I can't believe it.
Yeah, because it's random, right?
It's totally randomized. And there really was 8 or 9 people playing the whole night, and so finally he gets to be Jason. He's like, oh man, I don't know how to play. I wonder how you do this. I wonder how you do. Ooh, is this one of the special? Is that a car?
Is that a car?
Is that car full of people?
Is that a vehicle?
Why is it driving away?
That means
No,
it's
he's like trying to run as fast as he can with a little machete after it.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, does that mean there's only like one other person alive? Damn it, they're gonna get on the boat. I know it's.
Yep. Thanks, Brian. That was a fun game.
It was
It was a really fun game. Yeah.
Again, it was another moment where, like, even though it happened, it was still hilarious, and it's still one of my favorite gaming moments, even though it happened to me. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
From this point forward, can we call it Jason Chasen?
Jason.
Chasing Jason. It's a follow-up to Chasing Amy.
Ooh, nice.
The Kevin Flick movie.
Yes.
Kevin Flick.
The Kevin Flick movie. Yeah. Kevin Flick makes great movies.
Kevin Smith Flick.
Yeah.
Kevin Flick is a great name
That is.
for like a director.
When I get into SAG, my name's going to be Kevin Flick.
I can already see your cheesy headshots.
You damn right.
So much smarm. So I've been debating about telling this gaming moment. I have a lot of gaming moments.
Is it sad?
Loved 2021. It is. I was not going to do it, but I'm sitting here like, no, just tell it. Because I was literally thinking about it today before I even knew you were going to ask this question. I don't even know why I was thinking about it. It's from Road 96. I talked about it a couple episodes ago, being an impactful game about teenagers making it across the border. And having to, like, you know, they have food, so they have their stamina up, and they get money, so you kind of have to, it's a survival game. And if you make it or you don't make it, then you start over as another teenager and have to start that track from the going through the countryside. So you get some change in your hand. And what's nice is you don't get a lot of money, so you want to save it to get like a taxi because it'll get you further to the border. Or you can use it on food. But if you have some extra, sometimes you'll run into payphones. So in one playthrough as a teenager, I had a couple extra coins. I'm like, let's see what happens if I go to the payphone. And true to life, you can just go there and drop some coinage and call your parents or call like a hotline, different options. So I called my parents and they picked up, and it was very much like your standard runaway team, run away from home. Like, honey, where are you? Are you okay? You know, please come home, you know, all that stuff. And you have some dialogue options and you're like, I got to do this. I got to get out of the country. You know, the country's kind of turned on teenagers in a weird way and are like rounding them up, or something is weird happening with the teenagers. So they're like, I got to get out of this country. It's oppressive, all that stuff. And that was fine. So every once in a while when I come across in different playthroughs with these payphones, if I have the change, I'll call the parents and I get like a different dialogue. One time I got in, I had some change, dropped it in, wanted to see what was happening. And dude picked up and is like, hello? And they're like, and the teenager, I'm like, hey dad, it's me. And the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry. We don't really need car insurance right now. We already have it. And they're like, no, I'm sorry. Look, I'm on the road. I'm sorry I didn't tell you all. And he's like, oh, our insurance is already up, but I'm pretty sure we already have it. So if you want, you can come back later. And then you hear like a little scuffle in the background. And so you'd be like, who is that? And then all of a sudden the dad just starts saying like, honey, we love you. Go, run. We're proud of you. And just starts like laying into it as like it gets hung up. And like that type of moment, it like hit me super, super hard of, I don't know, like I said, I talked about it a couple weeks ago where the parallels to reality for people, refugees, immigration, and the ones, what you don't get to hear about a lot are the people that they're leaving and how they're either rooting for them or in hot water because of they've left, or they're just, they have their own story.
Yeah.
Wow.
That doesn't really get touched on. So I was driving in my car today and I was replaying that moment like, I love you too, Dad. I'm gonna make it. But then I'm in the game and now I'm like, I have
to make it. Yeah.
But it's not guaranteed.
No.
Which makes this game so tough. Sorry, I almost did it again. I'm dropping F-bombs out here. That's how you know I'm getting emotional.
Sure.
That's how you know there's the eyes are tearing up.
I have to know, how did that one end? Were you able to make it?
I'm pretty sure I did. I think that one ended with me. I found a tunnel that can actually take you underneath the border. Every time you get to the border control, there's different ways to get across.
Okay.
One was paying a coyote. One was going over the mountain itself, which is really dangerous. And one was like finding a tunnel and going underneath. And that's what
Did I
I did.
hear paying a coyote?
I heard painting a coyote.
You find a magical coyote. Okay. Dip their fur in some tie-dye.
Does anyone know what a coyote is?
Yes.
Yeah.
So coyotes are people in countries who will be paid to help ferry you across the border.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them are like legitly have your best interest in mind, and some of them don't. And it's a problem. It's kind of just a fact thing that's out there, a factual thing. In this game, you bribe someone, you have to like talk. This is another moment. I don't talk about it, but you get through a whole different ways. Anyway, for that one, I went under the tunnel and it was its own harrowing experience, but I believe I got through.
Awesome. So you made it. You did it for Dad.
I did it for Dad. And you know what? I think in that one too, I left some money under a rock for the next team that I knew I was going to play. So I would know that there's money under that rock when I get there. I could lean it up and then have a little extra change to call home.
Nice.
Aw.
Oh, look at that.
It's a good game.
Overcooked 2 was also kind of emotional. Man, like now I want to play this game even more, but I don't want to be sad.
It's also really wacky, and Lewis, you shouldn't play it because the animations are very robotic. You have to really be able to look past that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I can if the story's great.
Then
Like
then never mind.
I play a lot of the indie pixelated games and it's pretty. Like I love Eastward.
Yes.
That game's great because the story is so fantastic and the world is so rich and big, and I'm like, this world is so weird. I want to know more about this weird world.
Yeah.
Eastward's almost one of those games that it's almost too big, because if you literally just choose not to talk to somebody, you are missing probably a good 5-minute conversation of story.
Yep.
That if you just happen to walk by them instead of interacting, you just didn't get that piece of it. And they'll tell you something cool about some weird spot in the game. Like if you see Troy when you play, if you see statue things that have talk moments to them, press talk on them.
I talk to everything.
Yes,
I literally go
everything.
wherever I'm in. I look in every corner. I'm like, is there a person? It's gonna be a long talk, but let's go.
Here we go. Brian and I had episodes of our streaming where we'd be streaming for 2 to 2.5 hours of Eastward. We had episodes where I never used an action button. We literally just talked
to people.
to everybody throughout the course of it. There was no movement in any kind of, which was very difficult for me, but at the same time, it was so like the world's rich. It's a completely full world.
Very rich world.
So what about you, Joe?
Oh, mine's also very emotional. It is a moment for me where I get to like think about it every once in a while and think, take that, robot. We were playing Ascent on the stream, and Brian liked to shoot all the robot things and all, especially
As did Joe.
I did not, especially the robot bystanders that did not deserve to die at all. They're hiding, they're cowering, and they're trying to run away. So we'd walk into an area, and Brian's guns are like way more powered up than mine because I played with a gun that was goofy and silly looking. But we walk into the spot, and then he shoots this adorable robot across the way, and he goes, "Joe, how could you do that?" And I was like,
What?
"I didn't do that. I definitely didn't." She goes, "Yeah, you did." And he spent the rest of the stream saying that I did that. And I was like, "You wait until we're done. I'm going to clip this moment, and I'm going to make sure everyone sees that you're the one that killed that robot." And I did that. And then, so like literally, stream's over. I clip it. I walk over to him and was like, "Look what you did. You did this. I didn't even shoot anything." And we walked into here and you were like, "Bam, bam, bam. Let's murder the innocent robots. I am ashamed of you." And he's like, "I didn't do that." "But that's you. That's your guy. That's your guns. Those are your bullets. I didn't do this."
Wasn't me.
Man,
He had the Shaggy approach to this, but it was on. It was there. I clipped it.
if Brian was John Wilkes Booth, he would have been like, "No, it was Jeff, right there." You like still holding the gun?
No, it was
He's
that
got-
dude. It was that guy.
You didn't see the guy just run in here. He handed me this gun. Look at this thing.
How'd you break your leg? It's always been broken.
Right?
You saw his wife do it. She was right next to him.
Yeah, it was his wife.
I love it.
Oh,
I love the fact that you can clip that on
Right?
on Twitch, because that is the equivalent of having a dash cam on your car when you like get into an accident. Like that is immediate proof, right? Because Brian right now is trying to pin murder on you. Like he's trying to pin a murder charge on you.
Right?
And, you've got that evidence.
I was so happy. It was like Christmas. It was like Christmas for a week. Because like it was like one of those. That wasn't me who killed the innocent robot. Robot. And then Brian just be like, it wasn't me still. Like, shut up! You don't get the jet! It was great. And then next week, I think the unfortunate is I think I, by accident, shot an innocent bystander robot.
You gunned him down.
I was so sad. I was like, I've become that which I hate. It's just like crying on stream that I killed this poor robot. It was a really cute robot, too. It really didn't deserve it.
Sometimes they just run into your bullets.
The robots did actually run into your bullets, and those ones that did.
Ran into our bullets 10
times.
How about you, Lewis?
I've been thinking, as everyone's been talking, I'm like, what do I remember from games I played this year? And I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been a moment that has kind of struck out in my mind, or maybe I just have absolute crap memory. Because
why not both?
Why not both?
Shoot for the stars.
I chose something from last year. You can do what you want.
Do you have a memory from the first game you played when you were in New York?
Oh, that's I'm trying to think of the first game I played when I was in New York.
Was it Back for Blood?
It was called moving up a building that doesn't have an elevator.
You know what? That was the first game, because I had 2 very large suitcases, no elevator, 4 flights of stairs, and a part of me tried for a good 30 minutes to go up those 4 flights of stairs with both bags. For a good while, I kept trying. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to do this quickly because I'm really afraid some butthole is going to steal my stuff.
Yep.
So I took the lighter one, and then I kind of trudged it up the stairs, and then I ran back downstairs because the heavier one had the PS5. And then I'm like, okay, it's still here. And then I did that, and that was a super fun trip for me.
You played Unpacking.
I played Unpacking, the game. And
New York edition.
Yeah.
I couldn't unpack for the first week and a half I was there because I didn't have a dresser. So I lived out of a suitcase for the first week and a half. Super fun times for me.
Jesus sounds like a New York initiation.
It also,
Yeah.
it
Trip.
also sounds like a late 20s, early
Classic.
Because like when I moved out, I had an air mattress and 2 Rubbermaid containers for my furniture. I put one on either side of my bed, and I pretended they were nightstands.
But you know what? It wasn't this difficult to move in when I moved in with Nakia. It wasn't this difficult.
Oh, right.
And I was on my own.
But we were
This is
on your
New York.
own.
Yeah, this is New York City.
New York City.
Right.
On my own.
And also
I mean,
you're-
I guess not.
You're moving to a different state, which is kind of like a thing. Like when I moved to Los Angeles, like I literally fit my car with anything that could fit my car and then drove
Yeah.
out.
You need the life experience of walking into an empty room and being like, "This is all I have."
I
It's good
wish it
character
was
building.
empty. There was a bed there that looked like someone had been murdered.
Well, it's
and
New York,
then
You
so
felt
I mean, it's
at
possible.
Slept
It is very
on
possible.
naked and
No,
sweat all over it.
Oh, no.
Lewis does not like to be in a place where other people have been murdering people.
Yeah, that's right.
And
He
the,
doesn't like to walk in there and be like, oh, already?
and the thing is, before I moved in, the person who I was subleasing from said, yeah, so I left I'm going to leave sheets for you. I'm going to do this for you. I went in there. There weren't sheets. It just looked like someone was murdered and slept on there naked and sweaty for years upon years and years.
And then you looked at it and you're like, I'm going to do that now.
Yeah. I looked at it and went, all right.
Yeah, I don't want to play this game.
No, this is not
This doesn't
the fun
sound
game.
like a game that
No, but yeah, I played Back for Blood. That was the first game I played in New York. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
All right.
Is that, wait. Is it Back for Blood, or is that just what you called moving in?
New York was back
Back
for blood.
blood.
Both, because you know what? Yeah, this was my second time
This is
moving
your
to New
second time,
York,
that's
so
what
it
I
was
was
Back for Blood. Yeah.
Grad school in New York, Back for Blood.
Boom.
Yeah, this is my final year of grad school. That was the colon for this year. Back
Nice.
for Blood.
Well, thank you, Joe Mini 4, for that very entertaining question and very varied question.
Very varied.
It's a very varied question.
Very varied.
And now for our host is now Dr. Seuss.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone knows guest spot. Thank you.
That'll be a good challenge
To be Dr. Seuss.
to try to get people to rhyme for an entire podcast.
Yeah, in 2022, we will do an entire episode in iambic pentameter.
Okay, no,
Okay.
that's
Yes.
insane.
That's a doable thing.
But if you too would like your question answered, please go onto our Discord, into our podcast discussion, and drop it there.
Yep. We have a link in our description, so you can follow it right from there.
Right from there. So yeah, thank you for that. So let's get into our episode.
Well-
Yeah, we already got into it. So let's dive deeper into this.
We are
matches.
now starting the episode.
Fake out.
So we actually had a little bit just right before the question, which was, "Hey Lewis, how has your gaming experiences been in New York? Because we haven't heard from you in it's what 5 to 7 months, 3
At
weeks,
least
and 1
7
day.
years.
Yeah, between 5 to 7 years is what the consensus
That's
is.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, you caught us up from a murder bed and so forth.
Murder
but
bed.
Back for
what-
Blood.
Back for Blood. Yeah.
After all that,
After
how
all
was
that,
gaming for you last year?
Gaming for me, so I live in an apartment where the internet is okay to watch stuff on. It's terrible to play video games on. So I have just been playing a lot of like just solo games,
Single player.
single player
So
games.
better games.
So better is the answer. Yeah, and I've been trying to play like some more indie games. I played Back for Blood. I played Back for Blood a lot. I just played that game a lot because
Lewis, you can tell us if Back for Blood is the only game you've played all year. If
It
this is
isn't.
you
It's
just like
okay.
It
riffing
isn't.
to get over the fact that it was just Back for Blood,
It
we're
is
okay.
not because
Okay.
it was quicker. It wasn't too quick. It was actually a pretty lengthy game. But no, then I also played some Eastward. I also finally played Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great
Actually, I got it right around the Christmas season.
That's the time to do it.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because honestly, being in New York, it doesn't feel Christmassy. It feels disgusting. But this game made it feel beautiful.
Did you get to do the thing where he's like swinging and you're like, I've eaten a sandwich there?
You know what? I tried to look for places I've been to, and none of them were there. Like, I tried to go to Union Square, and I'm like, it's not really here. And there's like a weird fake version of it that's like significantly smaller than what Union Square actually
Probably
is.
cleaner.
If Union Square wants to be in this Spider-Man game, it's got to pay the bucks.
And
they're going to get free publicity like
Yeah,
that.
no, I even looked. I'm like, I know it's not going to be here, but I'm going to look for my school. It wasn't there.
So, I ran into that when I was playing Miles Morales because I was just like, oh, at the time I was like, oh, I went into the city. I was working there. I was on the Upper West Side. Let me go ahead and like swing around. And then I went, this doesn't look like where I work.
No.
What is happening? There are major like New York landmarks are there though. Like, so for example, like the Met is there. Like
Yeah.
Columbus Circle is there. Like those landmarks are there, but like an Apple
Smaller.
store wasn't there.
Who would have thought?
Smaller things are not there. Central Park is there. That would be weird if it wasn't. That'd be a weird
Is it
gaping
like the
vortex.
Is it like the correct size?
It is
Pretty big.
I
Yeah,
mean, it
it's
is
pretty
pretty big.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
to swing through it is pretty annoying.
There's no zoo, I believe.
No, there is no
Whoa.
zoo because then you'd watch animals freeze to death. That'd be depressing, right?
What? Did that happen? Did I miss that on the
Oh,
news?
he's just
What?
pointing out that that takes
It
place
was-
at wintertime.
Oh,
What
okay.
do the animals do during winter up there?
They
Hibernate.
hibernate. They have
hibernate.
enclosures that they go into.
They
Yeah, I was
do
gonna say
have
the outside
they go
enclosures
into.
are not the only enclosures.
Yeah,
in
they
any
don't
zoo
just let
at
them
all.
live outside during the winter and die.
Okay, I'm just saying, as Floridians, sometimes our image of New York is just like New York from like 1918 or something.
Yeah,
That's the Central Park that I've seen. Is the one in the movies.
I know we've lived
with
in
the iron bars.
Yeah, I know we've lived in South Florida, most if not all of our lives.
Uh-huh.
But like 90% of the rest of the country has snow, and zoos.
Seasons.
So
You can't prove that.
I can't prove seasons. Seasons are
No.
movies and video games. They
Myth.
don't exist.
Myth.
I'm trying to think of other games that came out between August and now.
or just what you played. It doesn't have to mean that they came out.
No,
that
because
time.
I don't remember games I've played, Brian, is my point.
You should do this thing where you write down a list of everything you play in a year.
But, like, unless I'm writing it down as I play them, like, every time I play a new game, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, like
Because
you
by
said.
the end of the year, unlike you with your weird video game photographic memory, I'm not
not-
going to remember all the games.
Troy doesn't remember. He puts them on Pinterest.
He
does.
Yeah, it's not weird. It's special.
What a nerd.
Wow.
It's called dedication to the craft.
What
Actually,
a...
it's called I couldn't remember anything either. So people would ask me about a game or a movie, and I'm just like, never seen it. And then Amanda's like, we saw it last week. I'm like, whoa.
You know what? I also played Ghost of Tsushima again because of
because the DLC.
Yeah, the DLC. I played some of that. I mean, I mainly played Legends in it. Like, the DLC was fun, but I just really wanted to, like, chop people up. Is that a weird? Yeah, I just wanted to
No,
chop
it's
people
not weird. That's totally normal in the game. It's fine.
That's a Lewis.
That sounds pretty normal. I also played this weird game which reminded me of Overcooked called, I think it was like Moving Out.
Yeah, moving out.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. It felt super like weeble wobbly, all the characters. I felt like I was just handling rag dolls.
Just throw in sofas through windows and
Oh,
stuff.
super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. And I played a lot of Smash, actually. I played
A lot of good characters came out last year.
Yeah, every time a new character came out, that's what I played. And
Did you have any favorites between, was it Sora, Heihachi, Sephiroth? No, it was Kazuya.
Honestly, at first, I really didn't like Sora because I'm like, oh, Sora's kind of boring. But then the more I played Sora, the more I was like, damn, Sora can just keep people up in the air forever.
Sora flies.
I'm like,
Yeah.
literally, like I was doing stuff. I'm like, I don't know how I did that, but that person's still in the air. Let me fight them off. And yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I tried playing Overwatch once, and the internet was so disappointing that I had to stop. And I'm like, well, I guess I won't play Overwatch while I'm in New
Fine.
York.
You weren't missing much last year.
No,
It's the same stuff.
Same stuff.
It's nothing. Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be the same stuff to Overwatch too, right? And yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much all I've done really in gaming. I'm trying to think of other games that have come out within the last 6 months.
You can
man,
tell
you-
us if you've played Rocket League. This is a safe space.
I don't even think I could because the internet is so doo-doo.
But you're like up there for school and stuff. Like, was the internet working for at least that part? Because I mean, I'm guessing there was some quite a lot of virtual stuff happening last year.
Yeah, Zoom stuff. There was actually a lot of Zoom stuff last semester, which is funny because they told me I had to be there in person so we can go to classes in person. And
Gotcha.
then
Hey,
I will
we're gonna
tell
get
you
him. We're gonna
that
make a move up
more
here.
Than 50% of my classes last semester were over Zoom. So I enjoy wasting money and time. Thank you, new school. Eat a whole bag.
That faculty staff is just
Rusty
like,
hammers.
got him.
Yeah, Rusty Hammers. There you go. That's what I was gonna say.
I'm going to school through it, so I could definitely go ahead and feel that because this last semester was the first one where they had us go back to live classes, and I was like, every day that I was at that 8 a.m. class, I was like, this could have been a Zoom call.
Yeah.
If you're
Can you
just
bring
at
a sign that you just like put up?
There
in
were
the middle?
times where it sucks so hard because I would have to leave early to get on the train early. And then when I'm on the subway, which is like a 45-minute commute, I get no internet. And there would be maybe a few times when I would get there and then I would open up my email and the professor's like, hey guys, so today's going to be over Zoom. And I'm like, cool.
But I just wasted $4 getting on the subway.
I will Zoom from the classroom then.
Actually, better
Yeah.
internet.
Sure, man.
Bring your
but then
PlayStation 5 to your classroom too.
and just hang
Get
out
some Rocket
there.
League in.
I'd love that he can do that. But like if I were at work and I did that like 30 minutes before a call, it was just like, yeah, I'm just going to cancel in or move this call. That would be so unprofessional.
I mean,
like the day before at least.
He did it.
Yeah.
Like they would sometimes do it like an hour before, and unfortunately, I have to leave a little over an hour before.
Right.
You know, and it's like, well, I'm here now because I'm gonna Zoom from here. But then I'm there for class, and then I just go home, and I'm like, no one else is there, and I'm Zooming, and I'm like, I could just be in my pajamas right now, but
See, that's
I
your first
showered,
mistake.
I dressed up,
You should have just wore your pajamas into classroom.
class, yeah.
By itself.
But
I mean,
then-
are you
You're in New
college or
York.
not?
You're in New
But
York.
then-
Nobody's gonna say anything.
Yeah, but you see, but then I couldn't wear those pajamas to bed because I was on the subway. Disgusting.
Oh, right.
Yep,
yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
You know? Can't.
Hot tip: own more than one pair of pajamas.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but I don't want to own 7 days worth, so then I can
just
like.
Louis,
reverse.
it's 2022. We've given up regular clothes. It's loungewear or
Only.
pajamas only.
Or reverse the cycle and go to sleep in like a 3-piece suit,
Yeah, that's super comfortable.
but stylish.
Stylish.
In 2021, the amount of pants that I've bought that have elasticity in the waist has skyrocketed, like to the moon.
Yeah,
I know
get
we
that.
tangented so far off of topic, but I went shopping during Black Friday, and it was impossible to find something that wasn't like. I would sleep in that. I'm like, oh, and I would also sleep. It's like the whole clothing industry went, we know what you want. It's like, yeah, this is made out of the softest material.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's amazing.
All right, well, it's good to have you back, brother.
Yeah, man,
welcome
it's good
back.
to be back. I'm hopefully here till February 7th.
Oh,
or
damn.
depending on whether my school, is a butthole, for longer.
Listen, as someone who lives an hour outside the city, I will be very surprised if they bring you back.
Honestly, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff. Restaurants shutting down.
Yeah.
Like public schools shutting down. I'm waiting every day for an email to be like, hey, so this next semester is going to start off virtual. And then my response will be, all right, cool. Hey, guys, want to hang out?
So what I'm hearing for our benefit and for all you podcast listeners' benefit is we're going to be having Lewis on for a few more episodes.
You actually will,
Yes.
because I'm here till February 7th or
Maybe
longer.
longer.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
That's what I'm
longer.
saying from what you're saying.
I mean, I'd be happy for longer, All right.
Win for us.
I never thought I'd say this, but I miss
Hey.
being here.
Yeah.
Not here with you guys. I obviously miss you guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's what we shoot for as Floridians.
Oh, yes.
is we know we're not going to be good, but not the worst. We're
Yeah. You're going to
That's-
go
that's our
somewhere where
bread
you're going to be
and
like, wow, I somehow miss Florida.
and they're like, we're no, right? Huh?
Not the worst. Not the worst.
Yeah, so thank you, Lewis. But let's get in with it. So one of the things we do every single year, or at least New Year, is go through some resolutions that we have.
The gaming resolution.
Gaming resolutions.
We all want to be better people.
Mm-hmm. Better
Yeah?
gamers.
Oh, better gamers.
better gamers. I mean, let's draw the line here.
Better people, come on. Come on.
Okay, Troy wants to be better people.
Okay, that's fair.
Implying that you're
fair.
continually striving to be a better person, where the rest of us are just in this endless cesspool of human beings that we are.
Oh, man.
I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Oh, now I feel
We've
left out.
established a couple of episodes ago that this is just the Hassel is a garbage human fun time hour. So
Okay, I'm confused. Is the bit that we're bad people, or is the bit that we're good people?
No, it seems
Because
like
I thought we were all agreed on the bit being we're bad people.
Right.
The
and if
bit
I'm
is the
only
bit.
good person that I'm
I'm sorry.
left out. I
I'm
want to be
sorry.
bad. Sounds like fun down there.
Well, you
In the
can't play
cesspool.
any more Road 96 then. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's off
Yeah,
the plate.
man.
If you want to be a bad person, you have to stop.
All right. We'll see.
You have to murder robots.
We got to murder robots like
What is
Brian.
it?
Not me,
and
not
you.
me, not me. I would appreciate that. But yeah, so we do that every single year. And I think, Joe, you have our resolutions from this previous year.
Uh-oh.
And let's find
Uh-oh.
out how well we did with them.
Uh-oh. All right, Joe.
I love it.
If you guys would like, I will read off what everyone's resolutions were. And then we can kind of, you guys can let me know how you feel you did.
Okay.
Start off with Brian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you had said last year that you would really like to finish more games to at least 80% or above.
Okay.
Your resolution was that you were very invested in a lot of games, but you tend to not even get near the end of games. So
Fair.
how do you think you did with that resolution?
I actually think I did very well with that this year.
Ooh.
For the most part, actually. Even including like roguelites, which don't really have endings. I felt like I played them enough, so I got either towards the end or like the last stuff that you can buy or build in the game.
80%.
Yeah, I got to my 80%
go.
in those types of games. And in
Wait, that's not what you wanted.
that's fine.
You weren't trying to complete 80% of the game. You were going to complete 80% of the games you played.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But like, I feel like I did get that. For the most part, most of the games I started this year, I finished. I tried not to start new games because I know how I feel. As soon as I start a new game while I'm in the middle of a different one, I just start to wander.
That's the hardest one. That's the hardest thing to like not do.
Yeah.
Is to play that new game or something else.
It really was. And so I did that with a lot of games this year. In fact, with a lot of the games, I actually went back because like they either released collections of them or I realized I didn't finish the end of like a trilogy. So I actually went back and I started from the first one for a bunch of different things. So like StarCraft 2, I never finished it. I never finished Legacy of the Void. And I was like, hey, I don't really remember this story all that well. So I went back to the very beginning of StarCraft 2 and I played it all the way through and I actually completed all of it too. So I got to a chance to experience the whole story as one. So I did that with that. I did that with Final Fantasy 14. I'm still in the middle of, but I'm going to be finishing that. I did that with Mass Effect. Completed the entire Legacy
Those
edition.
are big games.
Yeah,
Nice.
And I did that all in one clip because I knew if I started another game,
Right.
so it was a whole lot of just vocal decisions for that.
Right. So do you feel do you feel different than you did in previous years, or you're not finishing things?
Was it worth it?
Is it worth it?
It was worth it, actually. I highly think that it was worth it.
Okay, cool.
Even though some of the things that I wasn't really feeling with or jiving that I finished, I was still glad I finished it. So I didn't have to wonder, or I didn't have to like, maybe the ending would have been better.
Right.
It definitely helped me this year to be like, no, stay the course, finish games, let's see where it goes.
You got some resolution.
Yeah.
In your resolution.
That's right. So yeah, no, I think I did well.
Nice, man. Wow. Brian, nice.
Well done. All right. Well, next up we have Troy.
Oh, all right.
You
What did I
had
agree to?
stated you would like to play more dating sims this year because you were doubling down on your hatred for roguelikes and you were going to go the other direction. So you decided you wanted to play at least 5.5 dating sims.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Because in my memory, for some reason, I thought that I agreed to 10. And
you did initially, and then everyone was like, and you're like, wait. I mean, like it's like divided by 2, add a half, and so you got to 5.5.
You all saved me because I think I did exactly that 5.5 dating games, and I didn't even mean to. And I mean that like I played 5 proper dating games. There was speed dating with ghosts. There was
the Colonel Sanders
Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yeah.
I Love You, Colonel Sanders, and a couple of others that were interesting. And then I also included, when I was looking back at dating sims I've done, games that have dating in them. Like Life is Strange. It's not a dating game, but a good portion of that is like looking at people and then like choosing who you're going to end up with. So that's your half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the half for sure.
Which is remarkable. I wanted to do that resolution because I had played 0 dating sims, I think, in the year prior. And so I was definitely game for that. I would say my favorite dating sim that I played out of those 5 was speed dating for ghosts.
Yeah.
Which I had on a stream. Which
That was fun to watch.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be this silly, like, hey, I thought it was going to be a joke.
Yeah.
You sit
It
down.
was a joke.
And it wasn't,
Yeah.
you know, it is a joke. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you sit down and there's these ghosts and you just kind of like talk. But then it got like real, like introspective. Like some of these ghosts don't know they're ghosts, and you have to navigate a
Yeah.
conversation with them to be, you're the person that has to explain that they passed away. And it doesn't, it's not a good conversation. It's not a fun conversation.
Isn't there also a dog in that game?
So in the DLC,
Yeah.
you are sitting there ready for a person to show up, and instead a dog does, and the dog is just lost, and it's not there to date. It's just like, hey, have you seen my owner? I'm looking for him, and instantly you're just like, oh no. But you already put together what is going on, and through the series you see this dog over and over. You go help this dog try and find its owner. And the journey that it takes you on. I did this live on stream. Joe, I think you were there. Brian,
I was there.
We had Bianca from I Forgot I Own That.
Yeah.
Jemby was there, I think. Hassel.
I cried.
And the way that little DLC wraps up was very like sad but warm, and gives you like a little bit of hope for what someone who has a connection with a dog or with a pet will have in the afterlife. That in the same way that you lose a pet when you're here, that dog is down there looking for you.
Oh,
And-
don't do that. That's too sad.
No,
And
Troy, you went too sad.
but
it's the right amount of sad.
it's the
'Cause-
right, yeah.
So, not to interrupt, I'm sorry, but like
Please.
you played this game about a couple of weeks, maybe about a month after we had lost our sweet little baby Bean, little cat,
Yeah.
and it hit so many different aspects of our grieving process that we were going through that it almost kind of like, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, it made me think about my grief process a little differently, and it like helped with that. And I was just like, man, that game came out of like left field. Like
Left
I had no idea that game was going to do that.
To make everyone feel better, the way that and you should still play this regardless of me saying this, but the way that it resolves is that the pet finds like a little spirit that it becomes the dog's pet, and what you find out is this little like ball, this little spirit is actually the piece of its owner who died when the dog died. So it kind of keeps it company. So that when the owner dies, it'll help them find each other.
Aw. It's really sad.
But like
It's
it
beautiful.
feels,
Beautiful.
yeah. Anyway,
This
that was
episode
speed
is a
dating with
bummer.
ghosts.
Yeah, man. Jesus.
It's just me.
Why do we keep asking Troy questions? Who is in charge of the questions?
Okay, moving on. Resolution, check for Troy. Good job.
But do you feel like you were changed at all?
Ryan, you said check
Yes.
mark. He did good.
Yes.
Resolution, good.
I think my answer explains your question,
Yes,
Brad.
I think.
All right, so check mark. Next, we have Manda, who said she would like to play more PvP games or a single PvP game. I will say that the joy and idea that Overwatch 2 was coming out, Troy was very excited for you guys to possibly play that together. It obviously didn't come out, and lots of other terrible things happened with Blizzard this year, or Activision Blizzard. And so I don't think that's the game that happened, clearly. But did you get to play a PvP game?
Okay, so the spirit behind what I wanted to do is I've always wanted to be involved in the kinship that is playing a PvP game with your friends, and I have had sparked moments of that. We played some Red Dead, it was great. We played Monster Hunter, it was great. Neither of those happened this year. I played a collection of things that were not good. I made a valiant effort to want to be in PvP games, very unsuccessfully. I did play some Elder Scrolls Online, mostly by myself. I tried to play with Troy. Troy not very interested. In his defense, we've tried to do this before. It did not work.
I got like a good week in
Yeah.
before
And
I
you're
just
just done.
yeah.
Spirit of what I'm looking for. We tried to play Outriders, and that didn't work.
Didn't work.
What? I'm sorry. I'm going through a tunnel again.
Hassel.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm not.
Are you gonna
home.
play Outriders with us?
I'm not. Sorry. My PS5 is on fire.
I tried the demo for Monster Hunter Rise, and I just didn't like the connections of it. Although I have been recently told I should try again. But so no. I had an absolute failure for my resolution of last year. Not without trying, but I have not found that golden PvP, whether cooperative or competitive game, that's going to like really draw me in.
Yeah.
If our podcast listeners have any suggestions for an
I like
online
that.
game that doesn't suck, then
That doesn't
I would appreciate
suck.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your defense, though, no games really came out this year were really heavily PvP focused and were good.
Yeah.
Like generally speaking,
Right,
I don't
right.
I don't recall a game this year that was like, oh, that was a PvP game or has PvP
Which
in
didn't
it.
have to be new. I was just
Yeah.
looking for something to like get
to do.
into and just not.
I think it would have been
and
easier
it's
to
not-
get into though with it being new.
We've talked about this on the podcast before. It's not entirely the games. I am mostly joking. I'm also not very good at PvP games, and making that like hurdle over not being good to it being fun. I don't think a video game has come out that navigates that well. Of just
Gotcha.
being like,
Yeah.
hey, if you like people yelling at you and you like failing over like hours at a time before this is even remotely fun or interesting, then this is your game. And I'm not that person, so I'm working on it.
All right. So Joe, who's our next contestant?
So, Lewis, you're up next.
I didn't know I had one.
You did?
Wow, this is gonna go great. Great start.
Great start. Couldn't remember a single game he played, and now he doesn't remember
I played a lot of Red Dead
Okay.
in the last 6 months.
So, You had stated that you don't really do resolutions terribly often, which is true.
Oh, hey, look at that.
You had stated that you were going to try to play a video game that doesn't look good, or maybe 10 dating sims, or maybe
What?
it was there was literally like a list of things. You asked us to give you your resolution, which was, already not a good call, Bar. Not a good call.
These both sound like my suggestions.
One of them is yours. One of them is Brian's. And the next one, however, is something that Manda brought up that was a collective group, to say it like this, but to find games that go outside the norm of what you already play. Okay. So it was about indie games, essentially. It was more about pixel art. You had mentioned that you did play Moonlighter and you did like that. That kind of changed how you felt about pixel art. But it really boiled down to play a game that is outside of the norm of what you already like so that you could experience something new.
Yeah. Okay.
How'd you do?
Trying to think. I'm like, if I had my Switch on me, I could look at all the games that I played.
You played Eastward, right?
Oh yeah, I did. I played Eastward. I haven't made it as far as you guys have made it through.
Well, that's fine.
It's a
I
long
did
game.
play. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I did play Eastward, and that was definitely something new. I remember seeing the trailer for it. Man, that opening little short film.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
That sucked me in. I'm like, I want a whole show of just this. But that definitely sucked me in, and I thought that was a pretty different, beautiful kind of sci-fi fantasy world that I got to explore. I didn't play any dating sims. I did want to play, what is it, Boyfriend Dungeon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to play
Fun
that,
game.
but I just never got around to it. Was it good? I don't know.
Date Your Swords.
Date Your Swords. And I also I thought that one game, The Little Devil Inside, was
I was
coming out
hoping that
this
would
year.
come out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was really, really hoping for that because that game looks so out there.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to play that 12 minutes game, but then I saw a bunch of terrible reviews on it.
A bunch of terrible reviews and one good one from Troy. I'm the only person who liked that game.
We could do a whole podcast on just what happened with that game.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah.
Oh,
we could.
actually, you know what? This past year I did play a game that was very different. It was a puzzle game. I forget what it's called.
Maquette?
Yes, Maquette.
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah.
told me to play that game.
Maquette. Beautiful game. So different. Slightly infuriating at times.
Agreed.
Because
It's
I
a
just
puzzler.
couldn't. Yep, because I couldn't figure out. There was one puzzle I remember not being able to do, but
That's all it takes.
yeah, that's all.
It is.
But it
all it
was
takes, yep.
beautiful, and I had never played a game that I was essentially just like a almost disembodied thing, and just kind of watching the story of these two voices who were also famous actors. Like,
Oh, were they?
yeah, they were.
Okay, cool.
Super random. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Was
I
in
didn't
it.
hear about that.
Yeah. And I think her husband, or who's also a famous actor, I forget his name. But that was one game that I definitely played that definitely kind of opened my mind to puzzlers. Because whenever I see them on the PlayStation Store or stuff like that, I'm like, do I really want to just play this game where I solve puzzles for a bunch of time?
And now you do.
And the
And
answer is yes.
And
I'm willing to try them now. And if they aren't as interesting story-wise, then I don't care.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That puzzler had a really good narrative about like a couple
A relationship.
that kind of go through a
Rough
breakup. Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and like the puzzles happened through their memories,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and that was really, really cool.
It's
and
very abstract. It's very
Exactly.
challenging.
exactly. So I'm willing to try puzzles, but if I'm just playing a game that's a bunch of puzzles, just to be a bunch of puzzles,
Those puzzles have to be real good.
I'll just get a Rubik's cube. I'm like, I need a story. Like, what am I doing?
All right, everybody buy Lewis Rubik's Cubes for his birthday this year.
Yep.
If you write a story on each individual square, and in order to read the story,
That
I
would
have
be
to
so
solve the
fun.
Rubik's Cube, I'll do it. I'll spend all of my time trying to solve this Rubik's Cube.
So how do you feel with that resolution? Because it feels like you completed it.
I think I completed that one playing something out of the norm that I don't
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
play.
So you
Maquette-
like it?
Yeah, when you told me about Maquette, I was like, Lewis,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did the
you're
same
playing
thing.
my kind of you're playing my kind of game, sir.
Playing that game, I just kept thinking of Troy. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is going to make Troy cry so hard.
It did send me. It actually gave me
was-
anxiety for like 2
Yeah.
weeks.
I get that.
All right. Well, that is
nice.
another check mark for resolution. Well done, sir. We'll do mine next. I had been I came off of 2019 having platinumed multiple games and been very happy with myself. So I decided, or 2020 and 2019. So I decided in 2021 I would like to platinum more games because it was such an easy thing apparently to do for many years where I wasn't thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, I want to platinum at least 2 or 3 games, at least. I would love to tell you all that I was able to do that, but this year I decided I was going to stop playing every game that I could have platinumed literally at the very end of it.
No.
I decided there was like one thing left to do, and that wasn't worth it for me. I was doing it with Kenna. I wasn't willing to play the end boss again on ultra hard.
Oh, that's fair.
I was doing
That's
Ghost of Tsushima,
understandable.
which I started back from the very beginning so I could get to the DLC. Got to the DLC and was like, nope, I don't feel like it.
Because you did the whole
I played the whole game. I was like, nope, don't feel like it. I played. There were multiple games on Xbox for Game Pass that I had played 99% of every achievement you could get, and then I just decided I didn't want to play the game anymore. So then there was multiple games like that in PlayStation as well and the Switch.
Yeah.
So I have 99%ed a whole lot of games this year, but I have not platinumed even one.
Damn.
So my resolution has a little sad face next to it. I did not get to do my resolution.
Damn.
Good effort, though. Good effort.
Good
effort.
try. Good try.
Good effort.
And then humor being what it is, last person is Hassel, and his resolution was really, really interesting. He wanted to play more games with talking geese dressed in tuxedos.
How'd that go?
Hassel,
for you,
how'd
bud?
that go for you?
How'd that go?
Well, I'd love to tell you guys that I have actually made my resolution come true, but I have not found very many games with talking geese in wearing tuxedos.
Oh, yeah.
It was a specific request, and I remember I was like,
very
all right,
specific.
I think you got it though.
Yeah.
It's 2022 or it's 2021. Of course, it's
Well,
gonna
you would
happen.
think-
I didn't
you
even
would-
think of that.
You would think that in this year of our Lord 2021, somebody would make a game about talking geese wearing tuxedos, but it seems like I might actually have to develop that game myself.
The thing was, you were actually really close because there was a talking crow and a cloak,
Yeah.
but it was not a geese in a tuxedo.
Yeah, crow's not a goose, man.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. So you were close. It almost had you.
That sounds like a proverb. It's like, Brian, as we all know, a crow is not a goose.
That's good. Actually, that leads
want
me
that on a
to
shirt.
the next point. I will be sneaking that into every single podcast this year.
I love that.
Is not a goose.
love
Well,
that.
this game, crow's not a goose. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Oh, and we'll all go, oh, yeah.
yeah.
We'll
yeah,
know what it
yeah.
means.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
who do you think you are, Santa Claus?
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Throwback to year
Throwback.
Wow.
one.
Right.
Taste Dragons gaming
I just wanna let you
podcast.
guys
Wow,
know-
Brian.
For the idea of having a Rubik's Cube that reveals a story, there is a Rubik's Cube solver online where you could just click all the colors to where they are on the Rubik's Cube and it'll tell you how to solve it.
Oh.
So, hate to break it to you guys, but that's pretty easy. I mean, it's how I solve all of my Rubik's Cubes.
You just cheat,
How
is what
many
you're saying.
Rubik's Cubes do you have?
He has a whole
Is
wall.
this like a problem for you where you were like, I finally found this solution?
You open a closet in my home and all of these Rubik's Cubes just come tumbling out.
They all have letters written on them. You
Yeah.
and Lewis have been corresponding via Rubik's Cube
Rubik's
letters.
You guys are Rubik's pals.
Yeah.
I'd play that game. Rubik's Pals.
Rubik's
Yep.
Pals. I like it. That's fun.
Sounds like a
That's
sim.
All right. So,
Well, truth be told, Hassel was not on our resolution episode last year.
We're
so,
shocked,
goofing.
yeah.
We're
so
goofing.
yeah, we're kidding around. So
Oh,
he is on this
man.
year though, so he's going to be held to the same standard the rest of us are next year.
I was hoping that there was this version of Hitman where it was just a goose.
Oh, my gosh.
there we
Oh my
go.
gosh. An Untitled Goose
Yeah.
Hitman crossover.
There's a lot of
in.
parallels there.
Untitled Gooseman 3.
It's like the opera house and the goose sneaks up behind someone and is like, "Meh," and then they fall over the balcony and die.
Oh my god.
Or something
That would
like
be
Metal
great.
Metal Goose Solid.
Metal Goose Solid.
I do think a fun little statistic. We are literally experiencing the reverse of last year. Last year, Amanda and I were the only ones who were able to fulfill our resolutions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it
Balance.
was pretty funny.
Balance in the
Oh,
podcast.
We're all one loss, one win.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
All right. Going
Unless
into
you
the
count
third
the year before, and then you and I
Wait.
have another win.
Oh yeah, I was gonna be gracious, but I remember.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be gracious about this. No.
I don't even remember past like last year.
So
2
what
years
we're
ago.
saying is that Joe and I intentionally threw this year to make you guys feel better because we couldn't be
And
3 for 3.
I'll
so.
take it.
Yeah, we'll appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
So let's get into our actual resolutions for this year.
All right.
Do you guys have your resolutions?
I do.
All right, go for it.
Go for
I do. So I think in 2019, I tried to play more roguelikes and I failed because I don't like those games.
You
Not
don't.
roguelikes. Metroidvanias.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Metroidvanias, yeah.
Metroidvanias, and I failed. And then Dating Sims was last year. We did all right. So I wanted to look at another genre of games that I either don't like or I don't really play that much of. And okay,
Okay.
I usually play one sports game a year
Oh no.
to like really to understand sports because I had an epiphany that sports are just games. And I like games,
Sure.
but I don't like sports. It's a weird, I'm torn inside. Like my Twitter feed, I purposely make sure that it does not give me any sports stuff because the camera reads me as like
Yeah.
it goes into like weird gender stereotypes, and I'm a dude, so I like sports, so it gives me a bunch of sports stuff in my.
His cell just went from the most excited person to the
Oh.
most confused person.
And it was great because
You
he
can
actually
see
had
it
his
in my face.
You should have, because his arms were actually up before you even announced it. You're like, so I was thinking of doing another genre, and Hassel just immediately hands up, like arms up, like I know what this is.
You are our sports correspondent, Hassel,
Right.
so I may need you this year. So my goal for this year, because I only do one a year. Last year was MLB The Show, is to up it up by 3. Wait.
Two,
by
3?
By 2. 2,
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
So instead of one game a year, I'm going to try to play 3 sports games this year and like play them for real. Like get into it, understand the sport, do some research into the history of it. This is what I've been doing with the previous 2 years. And so I want to up that game.
Wow.
I have a couple games in mind already.
Yes.
I want to do a Madden game because John Madden,
Yes.
RIP, right?
Yep.
R.I.P.
This
the GOAT.
is
Yes.
a couple weeks ago. I want to do golf because
Yes.
I mean, there is Mario.
So-
You could do Mario.
or
golf.
the
No.
crazy golf where you
Mario
like hit
golf.
sofas with golf clubs.
Oh yeah, was that What the Golf?
Yeah.
That's good. That's
You
good
could
stuff.
do the new Mario Golf one. If you
Mario
want.
Golf.
Hey, I'm just gonna put this out there. PGA 2K21 was a free PS Plus game, so you already own it.
That is exactly my
Yup.
reasoning for
Yes.
doing the golf. And I'm trying to, like I want to play the Mario Golf so badly, but I'm actively trying to play like the
Real
simulation,
sports
get in there, learn the theory because it's different.
It is.
And then the third game, I'm not sure what the third game is going to be. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe something with like a ball or maybe
Captain
some
Tsubasa.
field. Maybe something in that lines with some goals on either end. I don't know what I could play.
Some kind of acronym.
Some type of acronym with letters that go together.
Does it by any chance start with an F?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
I think it starts
okay.
with an S, actually.
Whoa.
What?
Cultural.
I'm like, what?
I am very happy that you've made this decision for your New Year's resolution, Troy. I will help you every step of the way if you need to. I will help you go through all of the creative characters.
Yes.
Because
Listen, every new athlete needs a coach.
Exactly.
Is all I'm saying.
And the way that Troy plays those, that would be the entire game. It's gonna be like, oh, how long did you play to PGA? He's like, oh, I played it for 50 hours. Oh, man, how far did you get level wise? Oh no, that was creative character.
I got
No, we just played it.
to the shirts.
I
Yeah,
chose,
we just
I
did,
chose
we
a
just
shirt.
did one round. We just played the rest on a creative character. But I will be your Coach Taylor. I will be the Coach Taylor to your Tim Riggins.
Is that good or bad?
Actually, I don't. Coach
I also
Taylor's
would-
from Coach from the TV series.
It's from Friday Night Lights.
Oh, see, that's how bad I am at sports. I didn't even watch that sports show.
I didn't know what TV series you were talking about.
It's a
Now,
good movie.
If you had said
good
coach-
show.
Movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will be your Bagger Vance.
See, if he had said Coach
Really? That's what you
Lasso,
went
I would've
with?
been like, oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, that's the only name I could think of. I don't know why. That's where my names went.
But all jokes aside, Hassel, last year I did not understand baseball until you got on with me and we played a match and you explained why you enjoy baseball, how it's relaxing, it's slower paced, and you literally changed my perspective on something that I thought was kind of boring and slow. Instead, I like, oh, I understand basketball, hockey for the fast stuff, and golf and baseball for the more relaxing things. Like, I've learned something about that, and now I enjoy watching baseball here and there. I didn't like watch a full game or anything, but I appreciate it, and that's what I'm looking for with 2 more games this year, 3 more games.
I like it. So 3 sports games this year.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It's a lofty goal, but I think you can complete it.
I think you can do it.
Fully, though.
Part of me was hoping
Not
you would
just
say like
dabble.
10 sports games. I've been like, that's crazy. Dude. That's insane.
Awesome. I'll go next. It's going to be a lame one. I'm actually just hoping to continue to finish more games. Because I feel like I had a really good year last year, and I want to continue it. Because I feel like one year might be a fluke. And I want to continue that to year. It's like 2 years, because I think 2 years is a pattern. 2 years is a continuation that I will that I'll do. 1 year, it could just be that's all I'm going to do. So yeah, this year is to continue to finish more of the games that I play. I'm actually go with 90% this year though. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go higher. 90% of the games.
Do you get a pass if you don't like the game?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I think so.
Because I think that's reasonable. If you're like, hey, I'm not into this, don't sit through the whole
don't
thing. But I
try
get
to
like
beat the
90%. If
game.
you're into it, 90%.
Yeah, Brian, now you're making me want to up it.
You upped it
5
with
games.
3.
5 games. 5 games. Joe, put me down for 5
have a
sports
5.
games.
I don't.
Come on, Brian.
I think 3 is a lot.
3
Yeah,
is a lot
3's
for
a lot,
sports
dude.
games.
Are you guys being serious? 5 sports
3.
games?
This is us doing from your 10 down to 5.5. Okay, this is your 3.
All right, 4. Compromise, because I'm feeling the fire to like
I
challenge
agree.
myself.
4 is a way better number. We're good.
Okay, 4.
Joe's not going to go 4.
Fine.
4 sports
4
games.
sports games.
So yeah, I'm going to 90. If I'm going to go to 90%, that's my goal.
I should never go to Vegas.
No,
Never.
never.
I went and I forgot to gamble.
Troy's gonna be like,
Smart.
wait, you're raising? I should raise too. Troy, you got nothing. I should raise though. He raised
Sir,
me.
we're at a Starbucks. You only need 1 coffee. It'll show you.
The funny part about this is every time I've gone to a casino with Troy, he leaves with $300 or $400.
It's
I
true.
don't know what it is. It's just like he's like, let's play this machine. Cling, 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 $400. We should just leave now. Yeah, let's leave now.
Let's go.
I don't question the luck. I just take it and go.
This year, I kickstarted 20 video games, and 5 of them
Damn.
came out.
Wow.
I had a problem.
No, that's an amazing problem.
So next year, I would like to continue to kickstart games, but I would like to play the games that I have kickstarted.
Okay.
So I'm going to say my goal is to play 4 of them, which is an interesting goal because I'm not entirely in charge of that.
No, you're not.
So, I think with 15 games, 4 will come out, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think
4
so,
seems
actually.
fair.
Yeah,
So
that's the dream.
That's going to be my goal, is to play 4 games and then to just generally continue to look up things on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I should also, this is not for my resolution, this is just a mental note, I should not just kickstart farming simulators. I should also kickstart other types of games. It's so hard though, they're so good.
I don't want to dishearten you,
Yeah.
but I've got games that finally came out last year that I kickstarted like 8 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't want to dishearten you, but
But they take time.
Some of them take some time.
yes. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a great number. And you know what?
And a good cause.
That's a great cause.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know what? How about this? Instead of just having like a whatever 4, let's just say you want to play every single game that comes out.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
up to 4.
Up to 4. I mean, I would like to play every game that I purchased
Yes.
if they all come out.
Yeah.
But don't write that down.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But if like 3 come out, I still think that's a win. That you get.
Oh yeah,
it.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take
I'm
that.
still
yeah.
gonna count that as a win. I'm just gonna say up
I mean,
to
I'm just,
4.
Okay, I padded it a little bit because Orlog is definitely coming out next year because it's
True.
a physical game.
Yeah, it's a physical game.
So,
That's
all
fine.
right.
All right. Well,
I like it.
here we are, guys. 2022. So I not on the podcast. I had made this resolution just in the confines of my own home, in the safety of, the confidence of me and Genevieve. And I was like, you know what? This year, I want to finish more games. And that did not happen. I still have not finished Red Dead Redemption, which came out in 2018. Still haven't finished Ghost of Tsushima. Still haven't finished Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm very close to finishing Guardians of the Galaxy. So that might be the first one. What I want to do this year, though, is similar to how Troy needs a coach for his sports journey that he's going to go on. I need the same kind of coach because I admire being able to play 56 games and write something about them.
Oh.
That's me.
That is something to admire.
So my goal is to not only complete all of those games in my back catalog this year, but I also want to write about them.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a double resolution right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
He's making up for last year. I see what you're doing.
yeah. I'm making up for the past 4 years.
I'm like, we all have big backlogs, so wow.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, yeah. Any way I can help, I am here for you.
And I
Yeah.
think it's about finishing the games that you set out to finish. Because we
Yeah.
all have a
Right.
huge
Yeah.
backlog. We've all
Right.
had games that we haven't finished. But if you go, you know what? I want to finish this game this year. You should shoot for it. You should go for it.
And actually, I really love that you're keying in on the writing part. I would say even if you don't finish a game, I think still writing about your experience
yeah,
within
definitely.
it and whether you finished it or reasons why you didn't finish it, I think that's still a really cool
Valid, yeah.
resolution to tie writing into your gaming.
Yeah,
sure.
I think I've gone through so many different changes in my life, and video games have always been kind of like a constant. But I've never been able to accurately express like my feelings towards a video game until I've kind of like come on the podcast. So I wanna turn that into writing. I wanna do a little bit of that.
Right on.
Nice.
It's gonna be so much fun.
I look forward to
hell
reading
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Nice. And then Lewis.
Me. So I'm trying to think. I'm not gonna tell you guys to come up with something for me because that's.
Is it going to be to remember what games you've played throughout the year?
Can your resolution be to come up with a resolution next year?
Have you ever? This is just off the top of my head, but have you ever considered jumping into like the extended universe of the games that you play? There's a lot of games that do either television shows or books. Have you ever read a book that accompanies a video game?
I'm trying to think if I
There's
have.
one
I
that
don't-
starts with a W. I'm not gonna say which one.
There are lots of games that have, like the Halo has a series of novels, and the Dragon Age has accompanying
Warcraft.
novels, or the
Assassin's
Witcher?
Warcraft, the
Assassin's
Witcher.
Creed.
Witcher.
I read like 4 Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed
Creed has
books.
lots of
Assassin's
novels.
Creed has a lot of
Mass
stuff.
Effect.
Mass Effect has a lot of stuff as well. I honestly think the only time I've ever done that for any game was for The Last of Us. It came out with a comic book connecting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was good.
Yeah, and it was really good comic. It was really good. Beyond that, I haven't done that because it just seems like a lot of excess work when I have other things I gotta do. I'm like, I already spent so much time playing
Yeah.
this game. Am I also going to, unless
You could just read for enjoyment.
I do read for enjoyment. I just don't read any weird sci-fi stuff. I read a lot of just like I guess literary fiction for enjoyment.
Okay, I feel like this has to be your resolution because you're like, yeah, I read and I really enjoy reading. Would you like to read a book about something that you already enjoyed? No, that would be weird.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Yeah,
No,
we're-
thank you.
let's deconstruct this.
Because I don't know. Because yes, I loved playing the Halo games.
Right.
Do I want to read this crazy sci-fi book series?
The books are actually good.
What?
They're actually
Why
really
do you
good.
want to play the sci-fi game but not read the sci-fi book? I get it if you're
It's-
like not a reader,
It's
but
just
like
more. It's
what?
For me, it's just for those kind of weird genres. It just means more for me to be actually a part of it. And I know reading kind of whatever you want to say magical stuff about reading.
I desperately want to deconstruct the idea that you think sci-fi is weird. You're like those weird genres, but another time.
I love that's the thing. I love sci-fi. I don't like heavily reading. I don't like reading sci-fi.
Okay, so Harry Potter's out
Write
the
this
question
down.
for you.
Totally write this.
You know what's
down.
funny? I read all 7 books of Harry Potter growing up as they were coming out, and I loved it. And then I tried to reread the series, and I was like, "This is good, but I don't want to reread it. I'm good." I tried to. I read the first few chapters of the first book, and I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm all right."
Okay, so you're not part of the crowd that has watched the movies but hasn't read the books like I am, and I get shamed about it all the time.
I read the books as they came out. I remember
Whatever
waiting
way
in line
you
for the
want to
books.
consume your fiction.
Yeah,
Enjoy
it's
it.
true.
So
And-
resolution-wise, what are we looking at here?
Resolution. I don't know, Amanda. Seems like you have a resolution
Yeah,
for
we're
me.
gonna get him a book.
I feel like if someone wants to procure a book for you,
I do think you should pick the game and the fiction.
Yeah, for sure. If someone was to procure a book for me from a series that I love, then yeah, I'd get into that.
All right.
I
let's
have
do it.
some. I have some Rocket League literature that I can.
It's just the car instruction manuals.
Honestly, I would be curious to know if there is lore for Rocket League like
Sell-
that.
Write that right now.
Write the book now. Estelle. Another resolution: write the Rocket League
Yeah,
book.
Rocket League fan fiction.
It was the best of wheels. It was the worst of wheels.
Joe, you said Tetris has a lot of fiction.
it does. Yes,
It does, actually.
Really? Yes.
We gotta dedicate
One
an
of these
episode.
days. One of
just
these days.
We'll get there.
to
We'll get there.
Tetris lore.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, that's interesting.
But speaking of Joe, we still have yet to hear yours.
Ooh.
So what is your New Year's resolution?
It is definitely not to platinum more games.
Okay.
Smart.
That's being thrown out the window. I was
Okay.
able to do that without it being a resolution for years, and then
Just
you know,
don't think about it. You have
that's
to
just
not
right.
think about
That's
it.
what
Think about
is.
it.
It's just that's out entirely. I think I'm going to try to spend less time playing the same game for like 100 hours, and so that I can play some of the newer things that have come out that I was looking forward to. Because I tend to play the same game for half of the year, and then I kind of crunch a bunch of the other games. Like I did really well 2 years ago when I was like, I need to buy less games that I'm not going to play, and that has helped me immensely actually be able to finish playing games and enjoy games. But I also like Forza is a great example. I love Forza. I really don't need to spend 300 hours playing Forza though.
Maybe
So
not.
I feel like maybe I should divvy my time up a little bit more between other games. Like maybe give Eastward another run. Maybe give like other games that like I didn't 100% this year. Like I would love to go back to Rain in My Parade. I loved that game. It would be really fun just to kind of replay that a little bit. Like if I'm going to replay something, I think I'd like to replay a couple of games, not the same one or two games all year. Notwithstanding Dr. Mario, that one's
I was
That's
gonna
not a
say,
game.
I think there's a difference because there is some things where you're just like mindlessly playing a game because you don't know what else to play.
right. I want to think.
You don't want to think.
play.
You want to play. And then there's also like relaxing, like you play Dr. Mario before you go to sleep because that's what you do to relax. I don't think you can count those periods. But
Yeah, maybe not Dr. Mario.
yeah. But if it is like 5 or 6 p.m. and you're playing Dr. Mario for the next 5 hours, maybe you can count that time.
You can play something else.
You can play something else.
See, I find that in the last few, like I'm going to be playing Forza probably for half of this year. I have found that in my time, I'm waiting for arcade modes to start so I can hit pinatas with the car. So I will wait for 2 hours until one of these things show up and then play the 5-minute thing. And then I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm done. I spent 2 hours playing a game, just driving around, doing nothing, throwing myself off mountains and stuff, and taking cool pictures of my really awesome cars. But I could probably spend that 2 hours playing a game that's still wrapped in the box sitting there.
Yeah.
I could have played more of Deathloop. I could have started Guardians. I could be playing Cooking Mama. There's a lot of games just sitting there. So I think I've kind of reverted a little bit in my 2 years ago resolution. And I like to play a little bit less games where I'm putting hundreds of hours into them, like Assassin's Creed. I could probably finish that game. I think I put 100 hours into it, just running around, not doing the story. I should try to do the story in the games and not grind and just, maybe I need to focus a little better.
Diversify.
So how would you word this resolution?
So I'm going to try and play less of the same game. Like if I'm going to put hundreds of hours into something, I'm going to try and do that less and put those extra hours I would have played just goofing off, waiting for something to happen in a game, into a game that I haven't finished or into a game that I will have a new experience with.
Okay, so like a more like focused or intentional.
Try it. I don't want to say
Gaming,
finish
yeah.
because a lot of the time
Yeah.
it's not really. I'm not playing a game usually to finish.
You want to
it.
experience more games.
But I want to experience more games more fully.
Gotcha.
Or the content. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
as
Gotcha.
opposed to like the same game for 6 months.
All right. I like it.
That's good.
All right, cool.
That's the plan.
Snaps to that. Look at us.
Hey,
Out
look at
here.
that.
Hey,
It's like it's a new year or something.
All
Right?
our resolutions this year are really complicated. I feel
Yep,
like
just a
none of
little.
us is just like, I would like to do one more bibbidi bop. We're all
Yeah.
like, okay, let me get out my legal document.
I think mine
Can you add
constitutes as that.
Could you please add an asterisk to this statement that I've made?
Mine wasn't under the guise of one-upping somebody else like Troy.
All right, 5 games. Let's go. 10.
Joe will write them down.
We're very
Troy is
ambitious
really
people.
into this episode, everyone.
Now that Joe has written down all the resolutions, we're going to pass the tablet around and everyone will sign in blood.
Great. Sorry about your tablet.
Please,
It'll be ruined.
yes. Please don't do that to my iPad.
Just make sure whatever screen we go back onto next year, it's on the exact same positions, so the signatures line up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you got to
Yeah.
leave the
Right.
blood on there
Yeah.
for the full year.
Yeah, it's true.
For a year.
Yeah.
Blood screen.
It's going to make sketching on this thing pretty hard, but we can make it work.
I really wanted Lewis to reach over and be like, whose blood? Oh, no.
Oh,
sorry.
mine.
No,
That's a hard pass.
All right, so I think that's an episode, everyone.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year. Dang.
Yeah,
Happy
with
New
there
Year,
being
y'all.
6 of us, I knew we would tangent. So
Okay.
I didn't record that bit about us tangenting it afterwards. That was beginning.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to do it. I was
Saw
like,
the future.
We can make an entire episode out of 3 or 4 questions. Why not?
Easy.
And we did it. So, y'all, thank you so much for joining us this week. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of this week's episode.
Ba, 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 ba.
But you can always find us online.
If you're looking for more Taste of Dragons content, check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, or Twitch for more discussions, more video games, and most of all, more sandwiches. We are at Taste of Dragons everywhere, and we'd love to hear from you. All of you. Even you.
You.
Yeah.
Looking at you.
Especially you.
Especially you. Please.
Especially
Yeah.
you.
Wait, not
Lewis
you.
is asking.
Not,
Wait, we're
Not
fully
you.
inclusive. Them as
No,
well.
not you. Yeah,
Well, no,
you-
no.
you-
I mean, he was obviously pointing at Matt Smith. We don't need him.
No, we need Matt Smith.
No, why are you just like...
Or you know what?
you-
We don't.
just, like,
we don't need to hear
dropping-
from Imagine Dragons again.
Okay, we need to stop the Imagine Dragons hate. It just needs to
Y'all got a
stop.
lot to unpack.
But as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
I'm Lewis.
I'm Hassel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
The
Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
and a great year.
I'm just saying,
Oh,
as
yeah.
dragons, we shouldn't make fun of other dragons.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
just
Well,
because
they're not
magical doesn't
dragons.
mean that they're less
Okay.
All
dragons.
dragons
Okay.
get a
Matt Smith
pass.
is just
Okay.
a dragon.
Yeah, maybe that...
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.